12 years ago today, America was attacked when terrorists hijacked 4 passenger planes and turned them into weapons of war. 2,973 died that day, a day now simply and solemnly called 9/11. It's almost unthinkable that the day could have gotten worse, but it could have. But because of the extraordinary acts of ordinary Americans, one of those aircraft never reached its intended target in Washington, D.C., crashing in a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. In the weeks and months and years following, our nation rallied together to show that we can be shaken but never broken, that we can summon courage and compassion even as smoke still lingered in our skies. We were a nation determined to never forget the hard lessons of that Tuesday in September and to take the fight to those who seek us harm. Today, the goal of remembering continues on, both here in the nation's capital and in the towns and homes across my district. To that end, a garden sits quietly in Lower Bucks County. It's a site of reflection. It's a somber reminder of those in our community who lost their lives on September 11, 2001. The Garden of Reflection in Yardley reminds us all of the sacrifices made and the families shattered. But the word reflection gives us a charge to not only remember, but to correct, to make better, to say, what are we doing now about this? With that in mind, I was proud to stand with 9/11 widow and Bucks County resident Ellen Saraceni in that garden back in April to announce a piece of legislation based in reflection on that day. Ellen's husband was the pilot of Flight 175, one of the flights which crashed into the World Trade Center. In Ellen's great loss, she found purpose, working to ensure that something like this could never happen again. And while our nation quickly responded with increased security measures in airports and on planes, today we are beginning to see the first phases of forgetting. Vital security measures are being removed under the guise of cost or complacency. The proposal is simple, but necessary according to pilots, federal law enforcement, and airline safety advocates. It completes the security measures provided for by the congressionally mandated fortified cockpit door. But operational experience has shown us that those fortified doors must be opened during the flight, and that leaves an unnecessary risk that can be leveraged by an unstable individual or by a trained terrorist to take over a cockpit in less than 3 seconds. The Saraceni Aviation Safety Act eliminates that risk by requiring a secondary barrier door to protect the cockpit when the fortified door is opened. By installing critical secondary barriers on our commercial flights, we can take a cost-effective and prudent step of preventing a mode of transportation from being used as a weapon ever again. So today we remember, with our hearts on the past, but our eyes on the future, recommitted in purpose to protection and patriotism, ready to remember those lost, but honor their legacy again today. And so I end with a reflection. Reflecting on the friends, mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters who are not with us today, on the courage exemplified that day, and the outpouring of compassion our country showed in the days after. Reflecting on the need to remain vigilant, even as the distance between that day grows, refusing to let those lessons, paid for at too high a price, be lost for history to repeat itself again. Thank you, and God bless America.